All right, everybody, welcome to the Studying Brew. It's so good to have all of you here. It is episode 827, I believe. Yeah, 827 episodes, and we are nearing the end of the year. And oh boy, I'm excited. This is your free session. This is your free 30. We're so glad to have you all here for this session. We're glad that you chose to not only wrap those presents under the tree, but also get over here and get your study on, because you know what, staying consistent even through the holidays is so key. It's so important. As I was telling my members the other night, look, if you take 2 weeks off, it's going to throw you off about a month. I'm telling you right now, it's going to throw you off about a month. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be ready for test by February. You want to be ready to test in January. And the only way you do that is stay consistent through these next couple weeks. You can do it. You're just going to have to drink your eggnog later in the day, or earlier in the day. I don't know how it works. But the point is, you got to make sure that you are getting that study when you can at those times that work for you. So make sure that you guys are either catching us in those member replays, you know, all the ones we have for the live sessions. We got a lot of great stuff happening. Brandy, go ahead and pop the schedule up there if you can. I want to make sure that everybody knows this, and but we got some changes for the next week, or this week and going into next. So make sure I have a nice little graphic here. I'm going to post it on Patreon. I'm also going to post it on Discord and all the whatnots. But this is how it looks. Small group tutoring, we're going to have that on the 21st, which is Thursday. So Thursday is the big changes. We're going to do the tutoring, and we're going to be back for the Studying Brew. That's all we're doing on Thursday. Friday, we don't have sessions on Friday at all. No member sessions, no Studying Brew. We never do Studying Brew on Fridays anymore. But then Saturday, of course, we don't have anything, right?
Right.
But Sunday through Monday and Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we're observing the Christmas. So we will not be back until the 27th, which is Wednesday, right? Or Tuesday?
Wednesday. Yeah.
So we'll be back on Wednesday. I'm thinking that's what my math is, right?
Yeah.
24, 25, 26, we're taking those days off. 27th, we will be having I'll have a graphic for that and all. But if you want to go ahead and get on board with setting up your calendar for this next couple of weeks and into the first week of January, I've already updated all of the Google calendars. The Google calendars all already updated, so all the changes are already there. So if you already subscribe to our calendar, you can go ahead and get that all penciled in and make sure that you know when everything's happening. Because that's all done for the rest of the year and into the first week of January. And also, I have also updated, or actually, Jamie helped me out. We updated the events on Discord. So those are already up and already, all those adjustments are already done. So that way you guys can already have that all penciled in, and you can see what we're going to be doing next week and the rest of the year. So as we wrap it up, we are going to be taking time off, not to really celebrate and relax. We are getting ready to ramp up for Kona Academy. So we are getting ready to switch over into a whole new different Kona phase 2, if you will. If we were part of the Marvel MCU, we'd be calling it phase 2. Phase 1, we had a lot of passers. We've had 12, 14. I don't know. I have to count it again, but we're in the thousands over here with how it worked the first phase. Now we're going to go into the second phase, and we're hoping to get even more passers, given what they needed. So not only will you guys be able to do a study, self-study program with us, but now you'll be able to do a self-guided, or a guided tour. Sorry, so a self-study and a guided tour. Study. So Brandy will go through the program with you. We're going to have classes. You're going to have the whole thing. Monday through Friday, you'll have a session on your particular exam. And we're going to do things differently. And we're going to have some new study guides coming out. We got a whole lot of stuff to do. So the next couple of weeks, we're actually going to be uploading a lot of stuff, a lot of content. There's going to be a lot of new content coming your way. So you guys aren't going to be left hanging if you're a member. And what I'm going to do is anybody that's a member that sticks with us through December and then into January, I'm going to run a discount on the new study guides. So that way you guys have that study guide and you'll get a nice little discount for the new update when it comes out for all the people sticking around with us through December as we get into January. So that way you guys get a little Christmas present, if you will. So I'll be giving a discount on our new study guides when they unroll, unravel, whatever they call them, unwrap, roll out. I don't know what all the words are.
Yeah.
But we'll be having that out. So I want to make sure everybody's caught up and make sure everybody's up to date what we're going to be doing. I'll be putting this and posting that, but I want to let you guys all know the calendar, the Google calendar is already updated. The Discord is all updated, and we're ready to rock. All right, let's get into it. Brandy?
You didn't want to do this?
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
So if you have not joined up and you want to get in on it, and look, I know we're going to start the Kona Academy in January, but guys, I think if I were to do it, I would jump on and start studying now in the self-study, start the 21-day program, get through the course material the best you can. When the academy rolls out, you can go through with it with Brandy, on those days that you really are feeling like you're really struggling through it, because she's going to go through it.
Yes, I am.
And so you can jump on those days and, really hear another explanation, if you will, or, you be on there and you can ask questions, because we're still going to have small group tutoring. We're actually going to have all exam test taking techniques. We had not had a dedicated day for the test taking techniques. We kind of experimented with through December. We're going to have that now officially every Monday in January. We're going to have one weekend where it's a Saturday review class every month. So you're going to be able to have that in your membership. And you'll be able to toggle back and forth, which one you want to do. Either you're doing the self-study or the guided. So if you want to get in on that, get the discount, join up with us, KonaButterflyz. We got that going. Scan the QR code, hit the link, be a member. We got all the different options. I got to do a lot of updates on everything in these next couple of weeks. We have so much work to do. So I'm just letting you guys know there's going to be a lot of changes your way. So study guides right now, those are current. Even though we're rolling out new ones, I'm just letting you know those informations are still popping out, pass notices, just so you know. So SIE 663, they're $20. Join the Kona community. That is your lifeline. That is your link to us. Even if we're not on the live sessions, Brandy can still be accessed there. That's my new phone number, 951-290-3077. 866 number is no longer. So if you don't have that phone number, use that one. Now I can call, I can text. You can send me screenshots of stuff that's working and not working. People do that. Or ask me, hey, what's that live code, whatever it is. As we go through the updates and whatnot, I wanted to make sure I had a phone that I could reach out to you guys and you can call me, that I can honestly correspond with. That 866 number just doesn't work like it did when we first got it. And believe it or not, to have that number is $5,000 a year. So for something that doesn't work, I am not paying that. No. Do you blame me? No. So I'm tossing that out, and then we got this one. So I want to make sure that, if you have an RVP, if you have an office manager that has the old number, let them know as well. I'm going to be making some messages and phone calls and texts, make sure everybody has my new number. But that is our new number. And it is also found on the link tree. So if you have the link tree, it's already there and updated. All right. As always, KonaButterflyz is on Instagram and Telegram. All right. We have a live session tomorrow, Series 65 Wednesday. That is just going to be
your questions, and we have questions posted.
I have techniques and questions. So Brandy's already got a lot of questions already up there. If you want to throw those 65 questions up and Brandy get those done, we got a couple people are going to make their attempts this year. So let's rock it. 8 a.m. in Hawaii, 10 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. in the East. Also next week we will be having some live sessions. We're going to have nothing but test taking techniques every what is it, like Wednesday. When we come back Wednesday through Thursday, Friday. Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. We're going to do nothing but techniques. So make sure to keep an eye out. All right, ready?
Yeah.
We already talked about the schedule. Test taking techniques Tuesday. Here we go. Let's go. Right? Test taking techniques Tuesday. This is where we give you those skills that pays the bills. This is where we give you those tips, tricks, and techniques, just like you heard. Our pastors yesterday, they talking about those techniques. And I'm going to tell you this, guys. If you weren't on after the brew, you missed out. We had a really good conversation with our pastors. I'm going to say this. Roger, I keep calling him Raj, like we go way back. Roger, he passed, and he never scored. What did he say? He never scored. He didn't score 80s or 85s.
No,
he scored maybe a 75 once. Mainly 70 to 65, somewhere around there. That was his averages. He's on. I can see him. Thumbs up, right? That's what we talked about, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's what he was saying.
Mhm.
And then Siania was on.
Mhm.
And what was her average scores?
Guys, she never got above 65
Never got
on a full
above
quiz.
on a full quiz, never got above 65.
Mm-mm.
We've had numerous passers that never scored above a 70% on any given Q bank that took an all exam quiz, right?
Mhm.
It's not about, listen, and I had someone who was so prepared to go today and so ready. They should have passed. They got all the numbers were there, right? By all the standards that all these people say, oh, if you score this, you're gonna get it, right?
Mhm.
Didn't happen.
Mm.
And one of the conversations we had after the brew was the fact that all, these exams, these Q banks, and you guys need to wean off the idea or wean off, what do they call it? Get off the idea,
No.
wean off the idea that these Q banks are like the exam. You need to stop thinking that these Q banks, and I don't care what Q bank you're using, they're not like the exam. Nothing like it. Not at all. Not even close. I'm not even gonna lie. Nothing. Why do we use them then? Because it is a great way to get yourself in the habit of looking for things like what we teach, or which are the key words. Look for the connections. Look for those little things, that you can see where what do I want to say? Those
Like the subtleties.
the subtleties, right? You get into practice of all of that, right? It's kind of like I don't know. I'm trying not to put it in sports, but I don't know how any other way. It's like if you were playing basketball, football, whatever, you analyze the tape, right? You look at how the other team plays. You look at how they line up and their defenses and all that stuff. But that doesn't mean that that's how they're going to play when you get in the game. That doesn't mean that that's how it's going to go just because you practice that way. There's going to be curveballs.
Mhm.
There's going to be some unexpected loops, hoops,
Mhm.
and obstacles to jump over.
Mhm.
It's not going to be that easy. But how we prepare is we prepare by knowing the fact that nothing is going to be on the exam like it is in the Q banks. We prepare for the unknown. We prepare ourselves for what if it looks like this, or what if you get this, right? But we know that these Q banks, so mastering a Q bank to a point where you get like, oh, I got 85, 90%, that's a guarantee pat. That's bull.
Yeah, it just means you got used to that particular publisher's way of asking the question.
Yeah, and they don't write. Like I know in Primerica, for instance, they have Kaplan.
Right.
Look, Kaplan doesn't write the exam, folks. They don't write the exam at all. No more than I write the exam.
No.
They don't.
Mm-mm.
They only know what the FINRA puts out, which is the outline, is the exact same thing that we go off of,
Mhm.
and it's anybody's guess.
Yeah.
We just teach you guys the techniques and strategies to identify those key words, because I guarantee, and we said this after the brew, I guarantee, and Roger said this too, I guarantee, and I think Siania said it too, I guarantee you are going to hit go on that exam, and it's going to make you feel within 5 questions or so that you didn't even study.
Yeah.
Because the way the wording is, the way they hide and disguise the information that you need to make these connections, they hide it and disguise it to make you feel like you haven't studied any of these topics.
Like, guys, have you ever you're taking your quizzes and you're like, okay, and sometimes we even get so good that we kind of know what they're going to say before they even say it. And then you get to the exam and you're just like, this is totally nothing that I studied. Guys, that's not the content issue. That right there is just being comfortable in the field that you were practicing in. It's going from, I like to say, it's going from an air conditioned stadium, like an air conditioned,
Like a dome.
like a dome.
Like if you're
right?
the Cowboys and you
No,
played in a dome.
yeah, exactly. Right. And then
You go
game and it's snowing.
Yeah, you play in Buffalo, like
Yeah.
you play in Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then you know what happens if you're following football, right?
And guys, it's a whole different game. There's a whole different strategy to that, right? So, guys, what we teach you is to break through all of that and just get it down to the universality, that's my word, of the keywords and the technique of a multiple choice test.
Exactly. It doesn't matter who wrote the exam. It doesn't matter if it's FINRA. It doesn't matter who writes the exam. It doesn't matter if it's Dr. Seuss. You're just looking for keywords anyway. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if it's inside a dome. It doesn't matter if it's outside on a field on Neptune. It doesn't matter where it's at because you're prepared. That's what you want to get to. That's where you want to be. And I'm telling you, digging harder into the content as if, or digging into these Q banks as if there's going to be like, oh, yeah, like now that I've mastered it, these Q banks, it's going to be a for sure is false information. That is just lazy coaching on some people. I'm telling you, you can't prepare that way. You have to be prepared for the unexpected. And I'm telling you, if you're scoring 70%, 65, you know the content enough to get a pass notice.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you do. You know the content enough to get a pass notice.
Mhm.
I mean, just ask Roger, ask Sianya, right? Just our most recent ones. But shoot, guys, we had even a guy who was completely dyslexic who couldn't even read a full sentence.
Mm-mm.
He couldn't even read a full sentence. And the real or the Q banks never, ever scored higher than 58%. Never. And got his pass notices because all he was looking for keywords. We had a woman on here who literally needed a translator because she couldn't even tell us how it went in the exam because she didn't even have a grasp enough in the English language to even say that because all she spoke was Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you? Just learn the techniques and the keywords and the stuff that we teach you along with the base knowledge of on the content. You can get a pass notice, and don't be listening to people that tell you need to master a Q-bank.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, it's disguised. It's a way to throw you off. You got to be stronger than that and prepare. So tonight we're going to get started on some of the free, but if you really want to know how we really teach it, it's in our members area. We really dig into this, and all next week, that's all we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we're doing. Brandy and I are bound and determined to have a crazy amount of pass noticers next month. And we know the formula to doing that is going to be mastering those keywords and techniques, guys. It will help you get through these exams.
1000%.
All right. So on test taking techniques Tuesday, we have rules. Rule number 1, you're not allowed to ask what exam did that question come from? It's irrelevant. Just like I told you, it's irrelevant. Don't get caught up in the difficulty of any question ever. Don't let them intimidate you ever. There's a way to crack it, and sometimes you don't even need securities. Just pay attention to what Brandy's strategies are when she approaches a question, why she's reading the answers, how she marks it, how she looks at it, how she takes it apart, like she's Jason Bourne in the Bourne Identity and a loaded weapon. You know what I mean? Just takes that thing apart, right? I'm telling you guys, that's how you got to approach these things, right? And then rule number 2 is, how do you get good at something? You practice. You don't act like Allen Iverson. You act like Kobe Bryant. You get yourself some championship rings, and the only way you can do that is you practice, and you practice, and you practice, right? No matter how many times you may, fail at it, know how many times you might not be that great at it at first, but I'm telling you, once it clicks, you'll get it. And once you get it, it's over. It's a game over situation.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to practice it. So we want you to do a 10-question flash quiz right after we're done. That means 10 questions in 10 minutes or less. Only a minute of thought, no second guessing. Just go, like as Roger put it, click and go. Click and go. That's it. That's what we want. Click and go. And if you want to ask Roger, he said it. That was perfect, right? So let's get after it. Let's go.
All right, guys. I love these one worded ones. The best. All right. So I have commercial, business, agricultural, or personal. Guys, I don't know about you, but I can already tell you that all the rules, every rule that you are learning in studying, every rule is to protect the retail investor's personal account. So
Always.
I'm just going by this and going every rule.
Everything that you are learning, everything that you're doing, and everything you're gonna do is for one reason only, and that is to protect the investor.
Mm-hmm. The retail personal investor.
Yes, more specifically and correctly.
Yes.
best interest is always lies there.
Yes. So, guys, the privacy constraints of Regulation ST applies to individuals whose use of financial services or products is primarily, I mean, we say it right there. We say it right there. Every rule protects the personal investor.
Answered before you even saw the question. And if you're on the real exam, you just confirm by looking at the question. But that's it. That's what we talk about. Look, you didn't need securities for that.
You guys didn't even need to know what Regulation ST stood for.
You didn't.
And a lot of times we would go, the privacy constraints of Regulation ST. What do I remember about Regulation?
Wrong. Don't do that.
See, you're approaching the question with what you know or not know, not about what the words are on the screen.
Exactly. Click and go.
Right. All right. I have a lender to the company, neither an owner nor a debtor, whatever.
You don't even need to know how to pronounce it right.
No, an owner or a stockholder. Right. So if I'm looking at this, I'm like, could this be like is this like a security, right? This is not anything really, right? An owner of the company, the CEO, right? The president, I don't know. And then like a stockholder is, well, we know what a stockholder is, right? Like a stockholder is somebody that has a stock that's holding a stock, right? Does that make sense? And you guys, I'm just not anything with the neither and the nor.
Three negatives. It's not even a double negative. It's a 3 negatives, right?
Right. Okay. So that's what I'm going to go off of. So I think this is the one that's different. And let's look at the question. It says an investor who buys and sells options on stock. So we're not talking about the stock. We're talking about the option. So because I crossed off stock, I can cross off stock here. I can cross off owner there. Selling an option. Option. It's not debt.
No.
It's a choice, right?
Right.
Right? It's a choice. So would that match to that? Yeah.
Well, they're not. Yeah, it's not an owner. It's not a debtor company.
That's it.
It's nothing.
There you go. See? Again, you guys probably would have seen that and gone, I hate options, bro.
Options is a thing. It's right. It's an action. It's not a person or a company or anything like that.
Right. Guys, it's just a contract. That's it.
Again, guys, easy, simple.
Okay, I have reduce domestic taxation.
By the way, if you're brand new, Brandy has her Series 6, 63, 26, Series 65, and her Series 7. Just so in case you were wondering if she has any licenses.
Yeah, I have a couple. Anyway, ease of company operations in the U.S., easier access to U.S. capital markets, or the option to operate under U.S. law. Okay, so this, no idea, right? Like, how do you reduce domestic taxation? Like, I don't even know. Like, that seems so like international business type, right?
Or an act of Congress, maybe.
Right. So that sounds like business, like Congress, whatever, right?
Not in my realm.
And then I have ease of company operations. Again, this feels like you're running a business.
Yeah.
Right? Feels like you're running a business. And then I have C that has easier access to US capital markets. Well, now this is my studying right here. I remember seeing, in fact, there's a whole chapter in the SIE called capital markets. So that's my studying. And the other thing is look, ease of, easier. Could this be something that's like similar or opposite?
Look how simple these observations are. These are not complicated.
No. And then the option to operate under US law, again, not my wheelhouse. Like, I don't even know what this is. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not studying to be a lawyer. I'm not studying to own a business. So do you guys see where I'm going with that? So just based on that, based on the fact that B and C are talking about being easier and C being that's what I'm actually studying, I think that the answer is C. Just based on that, right? Why would a foreign corporation want to see an American depository receipt issued for its common stock? I'm just going to go with the thing that I've been studying. I'm just going with the thing that I'm studying.
That's it. And guys, if this is where the practice comes in, because you might be like, well, that would take a long time for me to do. You only get faster by doing. I guarantee you ever had a first job, you sucked on your first few days or even a month. And all the veterans there just looked at you and be like, dude, you need to get faster. Right. And you got faster because you started doing whatever it is faster because you kept doing it over and over again. Right. You made a lot of mistakes, I'm sure, but you'll get faster.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It tells the number of shares that were traded in the OTC market the prior day.
Wow.
Sorry. Background is really loud. It tells the number of shares that were traded in the OTC market the prior day. It tells the number of shares that were traded on the New York Stock Exchange that day. It tells the number of shares the broker dealer is willing to buy or sell at that price. It tells the number of shares that the broker dealer has in inventory. So if you guys notice, it has number of shares, number of shares, number of shares, number of shares. So none of that stuff works, right? So then I'm going to focus on this. OTC prior day, New York Stock Exchange that day, willing to buy or sell, or inventory, right? I don't know why I circled one in at there. Consistent, right? So now all I'm going to do, guys, is make a match, right? Boom, boom. Get my highlighter. Get my eraser. Which of the following best describes the size of a quote? Well, I know a quote has to do with prices. Quotes, prices. Check it out.
It's that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple. Do you see all the unnecessary information and all those answers to throw you off? Y'all been alive long enough to know that a price and a quote go together like peanut butter and jelly, right? Like ham and cheese, like Kool-Aid and sugar. It all goes together, right? It all goes together. Why overthink any of that stuff?
This is approaching a question not with securities vocabulary. This is approaching a question with I know what a quote is. A quote is a price. Does that make sense? The quote is a price. And honestly, guys, when I stopped reading and I started looking at the words, that's how I found the connections.
What is the question actually saying? What is it asking? That's it.
That's it, right? All right. Stop limit order, market order, limit order, stop order. Okay, you know what I noticed?
It's all orders.
It's all orders.
There's 2 stops. That's what I noticed.
So what I noticed, there is 2 stops.
And there's 1 limit order.
And I noticed that these are extras.
Yeah.
If you look at the extra, because that's a limit order, that's a limit order, that's a market order, and that just says order.
I look at A as a combo plate.
Yeah. Right? So the A is so stops are like the extra. And what the heck does stop mean anyways? It's so weird, right?
Right.
That's so weird. Let's look at the question. It says an order that when triggered becomes a market order. Okay. Probably a lot of us are going to go, oh, the answer is B, right? Market order, the answer is B. But what you need to slow down just a second is this. When
As Santa would say to his reindeer, whoa.
When triggered, which is extra. Am I right? It's extra. And it doesn't say anything in the question about limiting. Oh, I should probably give you guys that is the answer. When triggered. So that means there was stoppage before it got triggered, right? And then I just turned into an order.
The thing is, don't get caught up on the fact that there's a limit. It doesn't need to be a combo plate. It's not asking for limits there.
No, there's no limit in the question.
So don't add one.
Okay.
Don't add evidence to the scene.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just what is it asking you to do? That's it.
Exactly.
Right. I got people in here in the military, right? You don't add more orders.
Yeah.
You don't put more. You just do what you're told.
Right. All right, guys. I got A, 3,000 or more. B, to bank customers. C, to a different state. D, to retail investors. Guys, what's our rule when we see only one answer choice that has a number?
That's it. That's it. What? Let's talk about it. No, let's not talk about it. Let's just click and go. Stick and go. stick and go, right? Like if we were a boxer.
Yeah, guys, under the Patriot Act, financial firms must create and maintain records of wire transfers only of 3,000 or more. And actually, guys, I do have a fun fact about how to memorize that. Wire is W, and if you turn it on your side, it's a 3. Ha!
That is a way to remember it. That's what we call, these are little triggering retention, triggering a retention or response, right? Trigger response. I see that W in that question. I remember 3,000, right?
Right.
People always ask us, how do you remember all this stuff? This is how. These are the tips and tricks right here.
This is it.
All
it.
You just got a free one.
There you go. And it's the only one with the number. So it's the answer. All right. That's it. That's all I have.
That's it. Hey guys, look, this is our free. And next week, I'm telling you, if you want to learn more on how we do this and in great depth and detail, that's what we're doing all next week in the live sessions. That's what we're going to be doing all next week in the live sessions. We're going to go through it bit by bit. Brandy's going to show you the thing we call ohms and how she observes these things. She does. I know there's some people on here. They're like, well, that's cool when you pick the questions, Brandy, but can you do it in a live quiz? Oh, yes, you can.
I only skipped one question and it was
they don't believe you. They don't believe you. They have to see it, right?
Yeah.
People always have to see it. So she'll probably do a live quiz. I know she did today and the 26th, right? So we're just going to keep doing it until you guys understand. This isn't some sort of cherry picking trickery, right? Where we come up with these questions to show you this and it's not really that easy. No, it is that easy. And guess what? If you want to ask some of my pastors, they're all over the Kona Hall of Fame on Instagram. Message them, ask them. They'll tell you the same thing. It works. It works on the real deal. It works.
It works.
It works. So I'm just letting you know. All right, everybody. If you need to have a question answered, we're going to stick around for a little bit for all the people who showed up live. If you're watching this on a replay and if you're watching it on YouTube, please subscribe, like it. You know how it goes. And we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow for a live session for the Series 65 and the Studying Brew. We appreciate all of you being here. And guess what? Stay safe out there. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your friend's face. That's all I know. And keep the positive mental attitude. PMA, everybody. Have a great night.
Guys, thank you so much for being on. We super appreciate you. Don't forget to practice those flash quizzes before you go to sleep tonight. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one.